and how that's finally going to function with Brooklyn having all three of those together. Damian Lillard returning. How does Donovan Mitchell fit in Cleveland? Like, there's so many really cool storylines. And with the Kings tonight, and we talked about this earlier, what can you look for in preseason? Well, last year they went 4-0, following up an undefeated summer league. People were, I think, calling back echoes in a way of when the Suns won the last few games of the bubble and snuck in, and they were able to carry that over. Maybe not as hardcore as the Suns, but I think there were some of us that in our best case scenario thought maybe the summer and preseason is indicative of what the team's going to look like. Well, that's not how it worked. We found out that De'Aaron Fox and Tyrese Halliburton that wasn't functioning. And then De'Aaron got hurt for an extended period of time. Tyrese was traded. Then De'Aaron came back. The first game, remember that back-to-back against Minnesota, Sabonis came over. And again, I still don't know the answer to that. That is the biggest question I have from last year. I'd love to hook everybody up to lie detectors and simply know. De'Aaron was out, 3 weeks, 4 weeks?
Was it that long?
Was it that long? I thought it was at least 2.
Okay.
Was De'Aaron coming back the game after Tyrese was traded and going on a tear? Was it just a happy coincidence?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, and I'm not trying, by the way, I know it sounds like it. I'm not in any way, shape, or form, because you got to be careful with crap like this, saying like, oh, De'Aaron was holding out until Tyrese. No, not at all. But was there a heightened comfort level? Did De'Aaron maybe not rush himself back, but come back a little earlier than he could have because he was so anxious to test out the Sabonis thing? And remember, was it was Alvin Gentry? Wasn't it the day after, the first or second day after, and this is the thing kind of stuck in our heads, first or second day after De'Aaron got hurt, said something to the effect of, well, if this is the playoffs, he'd be playing.
Yeah.
And then he missed like 2 or 3 weeks.
Right. Because then you're thinking, okay, he's not tonight.
Right.
But he'll play the next game or 2 after that. And then it was, wait, why is he out still?
And that's why you wonder, that left a real fishy taste in my mouth. Either way, fast forward, new head coach,
yes.
Sabonis and Fox now finally get a full season of training camp together. Davion Mitchell in his second year, add in Keegan Murray, add in Kevin Huerter, add in Malik Monk. I'm sure I'm forgetting something. Harrison Barnes in a contract year. There's a lot of storylines with this team. Yeah,
and I found it interesting what Mike Brown was saying the other day just about the rotation, looking to play 9 to 10 guys, hasn't filled out that starting lineup yet. That's good. I mean, I think by having this roster the way they do, there is competition, and that competition needs to build to great players, and that's hopefully the goal there.
Well, here's Mike Brown, speaking of, on that starting lineup.
But I'm not even sure who the first 5 are going to be quite yet. Obviously Fox is going to start for us. Doma's going to start for us. HB is going to start for us. But we're kind of up in there a little bit with the 2 and the 4 spot. Now there's some guys that we feel have a real good chance of starting for us in those spots. But we're going to keep probably mixing those 2 spots around to see what we can get.
Super nitpicky here. I'm not trying to be that guy, but here we go. I'll be that guy. Super nitpicky. There was like a tiny part of me that wishes he hadn't said that. Like,
because
no, Fox and Fox and Harrison and Sabonis aren't. I don't know. Every spot's open. That attitude of everybody has to earn their spots. I don't care what you did before you walked into my training camp. I don't care. I don't care who you are. I'm going to look at each person, and I'm going to evaluate you on how you do in this camp. And whoever, the 5 guys that have the best camp at those 5 positions, are the 5 guys I'm going to start. And if that means I'm starting Terrence Davis.
Yeah.
Then
Alex Lynn.
Yeah. That's who I'm starting. And on the other hand, then the other side of me goes, okay, stupid, but this is the NBA in real life, and that's not how it works. De'Aaron Fox is a max player. He's going to start. Domantas Sabonis, they're trying to re-sign it. He's obviously going to start. Harrison Barnes in the contract year, and you're not deep at the 3. So if Brown were to say that or comment on something like that, people's eyes would roll so far out of their head they would fall on the floor. So yeah, I get it.
And I'm not in camp and every practice and whatnot, but I feel like it just makes so much sense based on where you drafted him, based on how he's played so far. I really feel like Keegan needs to be the starting 4.
I completely agree. If he's not, I'm going to be really disappointed.
Now, the 2 has felt like it's open to me all along. And so that part doesn't bother me that there's not clarity. And maybe it is in coach's mind. He's just not shared that. But I think you can go a lot of different angles. I just think the fit is really good with Keegan at the 4. I just think that makes so much sense to this team.
I completely agree. And you need to – the Kings aren't – well, at least we don't think they're good enough to not start a top 5 pick in the NBA. Like, this is their guy. And by the way, if he came out and he looked like garbage and knew he needed to develop for another year or 2, he was a project type of dude. Okay. That's not what he's looked like. I would be roll around on the floor, shocked, questioning Monty McNair and Mike Brown's sanity if Keegan Murray didn't start.
Exactly.
And that would just suck the energy right out of the season from the jump. And you don't want to see that